Okay, all of you sit straight on the mat.
Sir, I'll try to observe also.
Yeah. Sit straight on the mat. Okay, don't sit with your back bent. Keep your back straight first. Okay. We'll do the starting prayer. So Shweta, you can observe. I'm not able to see your video. I can see your.
Yeah, I think some issue with the video. I'm not sure. I'll check it before the next class.
Okay, no problem. Start with the prayer. Inhaling, take the arms over your head, join at the top. When you exhale, you have to bring to heart center. Slowly. Close your eyes, take an in breath. Together. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Tatsavidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Tatsavidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Inhaling, take the hand straight up to the center. Take it straight up. When you exhale, you have to bring your hand slowly down. That is the starting prayer. We start doing the loosening practice. So first is sitting straight is important. Tanmay, I think you should sit straight. No, you keep your hands in front like this. No, I didn't ask you to come to camera. You go back on the mat. Keep your hands straight and back straight. See, first job is to sit straight actually. Others, I cannot see you. You can open the video. I'll observe you. Yeah. Sit straight, Tanmay. Forget about all the other things. Tanmay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Your voice is little low.
So first you sit straight first. First you learn how to sit straight, properly sitting.
Yes, sir.
Others, can you hear me? Or am I audible very clear? Like Ishani and all? Shilan, കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? ശരിയാണോ? ശരിക്ക് ശബ്ദം വരുന്നുണ്ടോ?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
It's audible. Sure.
Very clear or it is less?
No, sir, Shiva, it is clear.
Okay, no problem.
Should we switch on the video cam?
No, it's okay. You can
Okay.
keep it off. So first thing, most of the students, what you should learn in the beginning is sitting erect. Now, if you see I'll show you the wrong practices of sitting. So when you do Namaskara Mudra, see the idea of taking the arms up and bringing to the center itself is to straighten the back, because when you lift your arms over your head, you can see the arm will stretch the back upwards. And then when you bring your hand down, the back will remain erect. Did you see that? So that is one of the ideas of why we should take. So if you do like this, I can see my back. I'm showing the side here. Now you see, you sit like this, no? So this is the way you are sitting, Tanmay. The way you are sitting is like this. You observe how, this is the way you're sitting. Understood? So this is the first thing that everybody should correct. Imagine you sit like this. What will happen? You can see, the back is bulging here. It is all rounding. And whereas when you sit upright, did you observe the difference between an upright sitting and sitting like this? Normally, all these postures are one of the main reasons for back problem. If you don't sit straight, you will get a back problem. One of the indicators of sitting wrong is when this elbow will touch the thigh like this. You saw. What is happening is you are taking the support of the hand and sitting. So this is a wrong method. When you sit upright, the shoulders will open, the chest will come up, and the back will become aware. Alertness will come. Hands will be relaxed. Arms, there's no need to stretch the arms, sit, so it will be loss of energy. You just have to relax the arms, but the back will keep your posture right. So this is first thing you have to learn. Children generally children make this mistake, and many of the adults, they don't sit straight. If you don't sit straight, one is the mind will not be alert. And the other is all the posture related problems like back problem, neck problem. Imagine sitting like this. So now learn to sit erect, open the chest, wide shoulder. Initially, it will be a little difficult because we are not used to sitting like that. But after practice, when you down like this, you will feel dull and awkward. Automatically, we will sit upright. If at all you want to relax, what you should do is take the legs in front, keep your hands back. With the support of the hands behind, just relax. This is okay. So here, the back support is taken by the hands, and we know that we are relaxing. And when you sit like this, generally awareness is low because you are in a passive posture. Okay, so whenever you do prayers, sitting for any asanas, always come straight and bring your shoulders wide, lift the chest, keep the chin parallel to the ground, and straighten the back. So this is very important. Okay, that's why I explained, because I was noticing Tanmay, the way you're sitting is this is not going to help you. Come up and sit straight always. That mind alertness is always required. If you feel that it's difficult to stay in Sukhasana in like this position, you must sit Vajrasana. So when you sit in Vajrasana, the feet will lift the hips, and automatically the back will become straight. That is the benefit of Vajrasana, sitting on folded legs. Maybe some people get a little pain on the knees. So if it is difficult this way, Sukhasana you have to do. In Sukhasana, if your back is not becoming straight, the best way is to sit in Vajrasana. Okay. Now we do the loosening practices. So I keep the hands back, shake the legs first in opposite directions to each other. Just gently shake the legs. After doing that, keep the legs together. Inhale and stretch the toes front. Even the fingers should be pointed. Exhale, pull it back. I can feel the pull on the calf muscles when I do this. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, front. It will activate the toes and the calf also. Exhale, even the ankles. Inhale. Exhale. 5 times you have to do. Inhale and exhale. Then rotate the feet. 1. All the side. 2. 3. 4. 5. So I have to stop where it started from. Then again change. 1. So these are all loosening practices. Okay. 2. 3. Without proper loosening, I am not supposed to do anything. 4. 5. So I have stretched and released the toe, also rotated the feet. With an inhale, I have to bring the hands close to the body. I brought it close to the body. With an exhale, bend the left leg, chin on the knee. This way. Release. Right leg. So it is in the air. Release. Left leg. Release. Right leg. Release. Left leg. Release. 3 times each. Right leg. Release. 3 plus 3. Now, fold, leg folding and raising. So bend the left leg, interlock your fingers below the thigh, close to the knee. Keep it close to the body. Inhale, leg up. Did anything else move? No. Exhale down. Only this part is moving. Except that nothing is
Sir,
moving.
while doing this, my knee
Two.
bends.
Down. 3. Down. You have to focus and practice. 4. Down. 5. Down. Okay. Release. Bend the other. Catch the thigh. Close to the knee you have to catch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Down. 4. Down. One more. 5. Down. Release. So next one is ankle rotation. Fold the left leg, cross it over the right thigh. Cross it. Catch the toe, ankle rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I keep that leg Padmasana close to the navel. Then keep hands back, flap the thigh. 1. Keep on flapping. 2, 3, 4. I can feel that this joint is loosening. The thighs, bottom of the thigh stretching. 5. Now catch that toe with my left hand. Inhale and stretch it front and lift it up. 1. So I have to elongate my arm and the leg. You can see that. 2. Maintain that position. 3. Little time. 4. 5. Exhaling, keep it back. So I did not leave the hand till it's kept down. Okay. So I was here. I did not leave like this. So from here, I went, kept it down, then came.
Sir, for me, my knee bends.
See, unnecessarily don't talk. Tanmay, no need to keep on talking something. Just try to do. Don't talk always. Only when there is a need you talk. Hold the other leg, cross it over the thigh. Catch the toe, rotate. 1, 2. When the natural break comes, that time you speak. 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then take that leg, keep it close to the navel. See, did you feel the difference? It was here, I kept it into the navel. Hands back, flap the thigh. 1, 2, keep on flapping. 3, 4. I'm loosening the legs first. 5. Now catching that toe with the right hand, inhaling, try to stretch it and straighten it upwards. 1. Using this hand as a support here so that I can lean a little and lengthen it. 2, 3. It stretches the hamstrings, bottom of the calf and all. 4, 5. Exhaling, place it back along with the hand. This is the way to do that. It should not be like, okay. So from here, I kept it along with the hand. Then fold both the legs to groin. All these are loosening. Catch both the toe. And here, don't do like this. So now you can see I'm shrinking. You have to come up, bring the chest up. From here, I came up, and then started flapping. So that small differences are very, very important. Those subtle changes that you must make when you practice. Because when you do like this, now I can feel the opening here. If you do like this, now it's actually here. There is no effect on the groin. It goes to the back. So bring the chest open, widen the shoulders and flap. Now it opens my groins. So this is called the Titli Asana, or people call the butterfly, or whatever you call it. It's all the same. The dynamic form of it. After 5 numbers here, relax, release the legs in front of myself. Hands back again. Here I'm supporting the back with the hands because I'm going to rotate the neck now. Chin on chest. Close your eye. Rotate the neck. 1. You see, I have to feel my neck when I'm rotating. 2. So I'm inhaling and exhaling. 3. Every joint and muscle I have to loosen. 4. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. 5. Now change. 1. See, on the way I'm touching the ear on the shoulder. 2. Inhaling, I go half the way up. Exhaling, the way down. 3. See, till here I'm inhaling. After that I'm exhaling. 4. I'm enjoying. It's going to give a nice feeling on my neck. 1 more round. 5. 5 plus 5. That's over. Next is Nauka Chalana, boating or rowing. So keep the legs together. Bring the hands in rowing. So in rowing, the arm should move front and back, not sideways. That is swimming, maybe, like breaststroke or something. When you hold the oar, you have to hold it upright. Take an inhale here. Then while exhaling, you have to move forward. Elbow doesn't go like this. Elbow is in this way only. Inhale, pull back. See, the elbow is moving front and back. Do you observe? Exhale. So when I exhale and go forward, the toe will come towards me. When I inhale, pull back, the toe will go away from me. 2. 3. Exhale and inhale. 4. Did you see I'm moving the body more than the hand? See, I'm moving the body back and front. 5. Hand is moving, but that is only a method to reach somewhere. Then again I have to now start exhaling. Exhale. I'm going backward rowing. 2. Toe is towards me when I go down. It goes away when I go back. 3. Elbow is moving front and back, not sideways. 4. I can feel the back, stomach and all acting. 5. 5 rounds over. Next, so what is that called? That's called rowing or Nauka Chalana. Next is Chakki Chalana. So first thing, I have to split the legs to about V shape in front of myself. Widely keep it away. And bring the body front. Look at my side view. So you're like this, right? This is where the problem comes. If you sit like this, this will only damage your back. This is everybody should get this properly. Okay, so when I split the V shape, bring the body front and interlock the hands. You can see a natural, that shape of the spine will come here. Now take an inhalation. When I exhale, I go to one leg. Till the middle I exhale. Then inhale and come back. Exhale. Trying to sweep. Relatively, I'm keeping the back straight. 3. 4. 5. When I speak, it's difficult to breathe properly. Okay, change, other side. 1. What is this called? Chakki Chalana. 2. 3. My body, see, concave back is there. Did you observe? It's not like this. 4. You should observe that difference between the action. 1 more round. 5. 5 plus 5 over. Fold the legs to Sukhasana. So I turned to show you the movement of the spinal column, the back and all. You don't have to turn, you just have to practice in your own direction. Then I come to folded leg position. Now I do Ardha Padmasana or one leg lotus. How is that done? Keep one leg on the other thigh. So when you do that, you will get a little straightness will come. Padmasana also the straightness is good. So the alertness will also come. When you sit Sukhasana, the alertness will be less. With after maybe 2-3 minutes, when your mind is not there, it may become like this. The common tendency. Whereas if you keep one leg lotus, chances are less. So this is one leg lotus. So next day, tomorrow when you practice, do the other leg lotus. Keep it this way. This is Ardha Padmasana, or it's also called Siddhasana. If you're good with both, I mean both the legs, then you can also try full Padmasana. Here that lock, the lotus lock is very good. So there are 2-3 benefits. One of the things is the blood supply to the bottom part of the legs is reduced in Padmasana. So you cannot sit too long Padmasana. So the supply of blood to the upper body increases because the blood is not going too much on the lower legs. So in Padmasana is like that, and it increases the awareness while in lotus position. So either you can do normal sitting or one leg or both the leg Padmasana. So what is the next? Is the upper body loosening, the arms and all. So I bring the arms in front, parallel, fist close, open them, closed, open, closed, open, closed, open. One more, closed, open. Palm drop, up, down, up, down. Feel the wrist, up, down, up fully, down, up, fist close, wrist rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the side. 5, change. 1, 2, see I'm taking all the sides. 3, good rotation has to come. 4 and 5. Then shoulder, hands to shoulder, straighten it. Fold them, straight. Fold, no other change, straight. Fold, did you observe? Straight. I'm doing nothing other than this. 5, straight. Then fold, touch the elbow. Elbow or shoulder rotation. 1. So going up is important. 2, did you observe? Now this position is what you have to get. On the way, this position if you have to get, no, that is important. So like that you rotate. 3, so my hand muscle is touching the ears. 4, taking well to the back and up. 5, it gives a complete rotation of the shoulder. 1, other side. 2, backward, upward, like that. 3, it will mobilize the entire rotator cuff. 4, the full shoulder joints will become active. 1 more. 5, interlock your fingers, inhale, raise your hands. Now did you see I shrunk my bottom? See, like it was this. Why did I do this? Just to get that lift. I joined my leg in and lifted my top. About 5 numbers there. With an exhale, I bring down. Long arms. Like that. In shoulder rotation, one of the common errors is this. You can see. Now, where is the rotation? No rotation only. So, if you from here, if you take it like this, it's a wrong technique. So, from here, this is the right. So, try to take the elbow above the head. Head is here, elbow is here. So when I choose those words very carefully, so when the teacher says, generally the teachers will use like that, elbow above the head level. So when you do like this, where is the elbow? Elbow is below or maximum at par with the head. Okay, so don't do rotation like this. Take it up and in front. All the loosening over except Marjariasana. From here, unlock the legs in front. Hands back, shake the legs first. When you do this, the bend on the knees ankles, all that will get released. That folded leg posture will get released when you do this. After doing that, go to cat position. Fold legs to one side, come to cat. Now here some people may get a pain on the knee. So what you have to do is, you have to put a blanket like this, or a thick bed sheet or something. See, like this. In case you get a knee pain, and keep the knee on the blanket. And then 5 times Marjariyasana. So the knees are apart, hands should be apart. Okay? Sleeping toes. Now inhaling, head up, tailbone up. Push the ground. The neck also is up. Don't keep the neck down. Okay, keeping the neck down is not correct. Keep the neck up and look to the ceiling, towards the eyebrow. Exhale, reverse. That's the cat position. Inhale, cow. This is the cow with the center down. Exhale, cat. Center goes up. 3. Reverse. 4. Reverse. Whatever you can do. One more time. 5. Stay here. 1, 2. Look towards the ceiling. 3. Through the eyebrow. 4, 5. Exhale, reverse. Umbrella shape. 1, or cat shape. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look straight. Exhale, lift your knee back, go to mountain. Pushing the ground, try to straighten the back. 1, stay a little time. 2, heel on the mat. 3, push and lengthen your back. 4, 5. Step forward both the legs. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head on the knee. Now inhale, stand up. Take the hands sideways up. Join at the top. Look at the thumb. Exhale, put your hands down. So that completes the loosening practice. Any clarity required on loosening practice? Anybody? Who all are there today? Yeah, Shweta, Shilin, Nishani, Nalini.
Shiva.
Yeah, who's that?
Me, Sanjana Shiva.
Yeah.
Shiva, while doing this asana, this cat and cow asana, why my back is not like this umbrella shape? I am trying my level best, but I am not able to do it properly.
Can you
Why
show
it is like this?
Can
Because
your video is off, I think.
okay. Yeah, switch on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Show me once. Can you show me once, Ishani?
Yeah.
Anchal, yeah. Yeah, show side view. Show me a side view. Turn to one side so that I can see from the side. Yeah.
You want to see me, no?
Yeah. Now you're bending the elbow. See, you're bending the elbow. Your elbow should not bend.
Okay.
And the distance will be.
It should be 90-degree angle, no?
It should be straight.
Straight.
And the distance from the knee to the palm is a little longer than required. So keep it, no? This is enough. You don't have to keep in front, you will not get that. So keep it a little closer. And your arm should be perpendicular and straight. And then pushing the ground, you have to dip that center. Push the ground. No, lift your shoulder up. Shoulder up. Chin up, chin up. Chin up, shoulder up. Yeah, now, yeah, this is better, I think. Okay, now reverse it, round your back, reverse it. Yeah, center. नहीं आगे जा रहा है. You should not move front and back.
Okay.
Keep your hands little front. Keep your hands a little front. Okay. Now round your back. Put your head down. Push the ground here also. Push. Push. No, you should not move front and back. You have to push and so from here you have to push and like that. You saw that. You have to push. So you are moving front and all. So see, this is the how you're rounding. This comes and this comes. So it dips in the middle. Both the times you have to push. And when you do this, you have to push in the other direction. So both the times you have to push and elevate. Put your chin on chest. Round chin on chest. Don't look here. Yeah, this is better. Yes. Now this is better. Now do the other way. You're down. I mean, center down. Center down. Chin up, chin up. Yeah, better. Push, push. Lift your neck. Lift your neck. Little more chin up. Little more chin up. Okay, better. So you make, if you get a pain, don't put your chin up too much. Okay. So I think the distance from your knee to the hand should be appropriate. That is one important thing. And elbow will never bend. When you do this cat-cow breathing, you have to push both the times. You have to elevate either this way or that. Okay. So that push can help you. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, now anybody else who has got any, who needs any clarity like Shilin or Nalini, Muthuraman, Divya, Ishani. So whatever I have observed, I can help.
Not from my side, sir.
Okay, who's that?
Muthu here.
Okay, fine. So that is all about your loosening practices. Now, and one other thing that I have noticed, some of the errors while loosening is this one. Like they hold, like sometimes I think maybe Muthu used to do like this. Don't hold your thigh below. Here it's tough. See, you're not getting in the proper grip. You have to hold here below the knee, just below the knee. You can see, and I interlock the fingers. See, interlock it and below the knee. It's very easy to do it. And when I lift the leg, the hand should not move forward like this. So if you do this, it is just taking the weight of the leg with the hand. That's all. Its stretch will not come. Keeping the hands close to the body, straighten it. It may not fully straight. This is also fine, but don't release the hand. This is fine. I'm okay, but this is not fine. So
I misunderstood the bottom of the description, but once you corrected, I corrected it.
Okay, no problem. So I think, no, not only you. See, I just mentioned your name as an example. Many people do this. So trying to straighten the leg in the wrong method. So they do this way. This may become straight, but it will not stretch anything. It will just load the arm and the back. So from here, so others also note this, try to straighten it this way. It may not become straight, don't worry. Gradually you will get it.
It's not with the extent.
Okay. Now that's what, see, so you have to understand, you have to learn the technique properly. That is the thing, no? Doing it wrong method is not going to help you. That is one. Then I told you that elbow position. That is another error that generally people make. Then the neck rotation, that's another error. Then concave and convex back. So that is another common, I'm telling you the common areas of improvement. So when you do this mountain, no, from this cat position, I had to lift the knees and this one. Here, so you must not do a rounding like this. I mean, like this. This is a convex back. Instead of that, make a concave back. Try to bring stomach to the thigh. Stomach to thigh. See, the stomach is coming to thigh, not the head. Head is in the last only, it will come. Here, so don't do this, and it will only spoil the neck. This is good. So this is what we need to get. And don't keep heel like this. All these are no rounding, this and all. You have to slowly push the hind leg, bring it to the floor, and keep the stomach closer to the thigh. Lengthen the arm. See, the arm is getting longer. The shoulder is getting longer. So this is what you have to learn. Okay. That's in the mountain position. Then I showed you that how the body moves in your rowing. The body moves, not the hand. This is not rowing. I lean a little. This one. Okay. Try to get that body movement while rowing. These are all the general areas where you can improve. Generally, I'm telling. I'm not telling about any specific person. Okay.
Sir, while I'm going back, my back is like down.
See, I don't see what I'm Tanmay. I know all these things. What you have to do is you have to find out methods. Huh? So I don't want you to. This is not a reported speech. So find. No, see, for you, I have told you many times. I don't want. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do this. Everything you are only telling that. What you can do, you tell me. How will you improve? That is what I want from you. Your age is that. Okay. I don't want to see my leg is not touching. My head is not coming. That and all I know. I've noticed all these things when you are doing. What can you do to bring those improvements? You tell me that. That change is what I want from you. Okay. You go to the mat, sit there properly. How can you become steady? How do you remove that? All those rounding positions. Tell me the techniques. What you're going to implement from this class. That's what I want. Okay. Now coming to after loosening, what we do? We come to Chandra Namaskara. Let us do few rounds of Chandra Namaskar and the Ashtanga A Surya Namaskar. Hereafter the breath is numbered. Till now the breath was not, and the breath should be audible. So I hope you could hear my breath. Similarly, when you do the practice at home, your family should hear the breath. Whatever breath you are taking, your family should be able to hear it. Samastiti. Feet together, hands tight. Inhaling, arms over the head. Exhale, heart center. Eyes closed. Inhale again. Together. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam bhushanna pavrano satya dharmaya drishtaye. Inhale. Inhaling, open the eyes. Exhale, look at the nose. Starting. So I'm talking, my breath may not be clear. Okay, since I'm talking. Ekam, inhale, take your arms backwards, stretch it back. Dvi, exhale, bend forward. Trini, left leg back, inhale, hands up. Chatwari, exhale, hands down. Pancha, inhale, other leg back. Shat, exhale, knee, chin and chest down. Sapta, inhale, chest up. Ashta, exhale to lift the back. Nava, left leg front, right knee down. Inhale, hands up. Dasha, exhale, hands down and walk forward. Ekadasha, inhale, stand up. Raise your arm back. Dvadasha. Ekam, inhale. Dvi, exhale. Trini, right leg. Inhale, hands up. Chatvari. Nose drishti. Pancha, inhale, other leg. Shat, exhale. Sapta, inhale, come up. Ashta, exhale. Nava, right leg front. Inhale, hands up. Dasha, exhale. Walk the other leg also. Ekadasha, inhale. Dvadasha. Two more rounds. No, okay, 2 rounds, this is enough. Because we are going to do Ashtanga Surya Namaskara. So, what are the important points? Quickly recapping. First important point, feet together, Namaskar Mudra. So don't do this way. Keep it center of the heart. When you bend back, your arm should be parallel. See the arms? Parallel. Not joining. Parallel. And pushing the hip forward, bend back. Okay? So that is second part. Don't do this. Taking the hip back and bend back. This is wrong. This is right. Okay? Second part. Third is when you bend forward, lead with the navel. Navel first, head last. So from here, exhale. The head comes last. This way. Okay, that's the important point there. Then, when you keep the leg back, take it long step. Don't take short step this way. If you do this, that arch will not come. You will not get balance also properly. See, I'm not getting balance properly. So that step should be long. Long step, if you keep, the bottom of the thigh will pull. It will stretch here. And I'll get proper shifting of the weight. Then exhale, hand down, fingertips, chin straight, this way. Exhalation. Inhale, high plank. So here, body should be straight line. Don't do like this, don't do like this also. So I could see, where is Tanmay? You come to this one, you come to the camera, open the camera, just observe what he's going to do. Where is Tanmay? Open your camera. Now open your camera, do the plank position. Show me your plank position. Show me the plank position. Side view. No, that is front view. No, you have to turn your mat. You have to turn the mat. Turn the mat. Now show me this position. This position. Show me this position. Show me. You don't have to go here and there to show me something. Look straight in front of you. Look straight. Why are you looking camera? You do your job. Now you can see the hand is not, it is inclined hand. Your shoulder should be above the wrist. Come up. No, is the shoulder above the wrist? Do it. Now straighten your knee. See, now your buttocks is down. Take the buttocks a little up. No, up. It has to be taken up. Little more up. Little more up. Take your buttocks up. Little more up. See, this is where, you're not putting the mind there. Your mind is not steady. You're not putting the mind. Do again. Show me the buttocks straight line. It should look like a straight line. Little more buttocks up. Little more up. Now maintain it there. Maintain it. This is better, I can say. Now see, so this is where your mind has to work. It is not a difficulty in doing something. So the mind should be aware, like no, see so which is the center position? See, that awareness has to come. You have to push and keep the back straight. That way. So this is now do the next one. Go down on the mat. Go down on the mat. Lie down on the mat. No, it's Chaturanga Dandasana. Not like this. Why are you lying down? I don't know. Chandra Namaskar. How do you touch Chandra Namaskar? Go down on the mat. No, press the body on the ground. Knee, chin, chest on the floor. Hands by the chest. Now inhale, lift your upper body. Show me inhale, lift your upper body. Here the knee should not touch the mat. Everything should be in the air. Knee should be up, buttocks up, everything in the air. Sleep the toe, sleep your toe, sleep the toe. Toe should be sleeping toe. Both the toes sleeping toe. Sleeping toe, sleeping toe. Toe should be pointed backwards. Toe should be pointed backward. Now lift your knees in the air. Lift your knees in the air. Open up the shoulder. Open your shoulder. Lift your neck. Everything should be in the air. In that position, everything is in the air. Okay, now go to mountain. Go to mountain. Mountain position. That distance between hand to leg is too far. Keep the leg in front a little. Keep your legs forward. Legs forward. Forward. Now push the heel down. Try to push your heel on mat. Straighten your back. Okay, better. Now bring only the left leg forward. Don't move the right leg. Only the left leg between the hands. Between the hands. Between the hands. Take a little more up. Front. Take your leg a little more front. Now lift your hands up. Lift your hands up. Hands up. Arch your hand to the back. Take your hand backwards. Take your hand back. Arch your back. Little more arch your back. Your leg is too far in front. Your leg has gone too far in front. Push your hip forward, hand backward. No, पूरा पैर आगे चला गया, बहुत आगे चला गया पैर. No, you are not able to keep a leg in one position only. How will you do Chandra Namaskara? See, I'm telling you, this is what all the things are in the mind. Why you are not able to keep leg in one position? Now take your hand up. Take your hand up. Knee down, other knee down, other knee down. Who is asking you to lift the other knee in the air? Bend your back. See, these are the things you have to learn. Okay, sit properly now. Sit with your back straight. Sit with your back straight. So we did 2 rounds of moon salutations. Okay. So I have just mentioned some of the important points. So who are the other people attending?
So one thing I observed now that after coming from the C pose to the pose where you have one leg bent and one leg straight, the fingers should not, I was trying to keep the palms on the ground, making the knee to move forward, which means it's not the L shape, it comes to a inclined pose. So you are saying that we have to keep only the fingers, right?
Yeah, because that position, you come back from here, you like this, right?
Yeah.
When you exhale and come down, the chin is above only. So if you do this, again the rounding will come. It's like this, right? The chin is up, looking front. This is Ashwasanchalanasana position.
Okay.
Just like your in sun salutations, you did that. No, here the only difference is that your drishti is front, because already your stretch came here. And when you exhale, come down, this is enough. You don't have to dip, and that rounding need not come. Keep it like this. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. You noted that. Yeah.
Second struggle is the stamina, sir. Like, by the 9th and 10th round, holding the breath in synchronization with the movement is becoming very difficult.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that should come with time only. I know when you keep practicing, I think it will come. Because no, by the time your heartbeats will be high. I mean,
Yes.
and your breath rate also may slightly increase. But when the time passes by, along with practice, it will improve. Don't worry.
Because sometimes it's also asking for two breaths between the two asanas
Okay.
instead of one.
Okay. So just observe that, and if at all you took an extra breath, try to reduce those instances. That's all. You should not force yourself to hold your breath or become that way. I mean, becoming harsh. That's not required. If you feel that you need to take an extra breath, take it, and you should know when you took that, as you rightly pointed it right now. So some people are not even aware of how many breaths you took. So the fact that you are at least aware and you know that you took one or two extra breaths in the last 1 or 2 rounds, that itself is a good point that others should pick up. So that brings that shows that you are very conscious about your breath. So that's very good point, Muthuraman.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So others also please note this. Now see, as Muthu said, no, by the time he reaches the 9th or 10th round, that breath need of increased additional breath he's finding. So similarly, some of you may also feel that. Try to identify those instances where you take those breaths and try to improve day by day and try and synchronize all the rounds. Okay, that's fine. So if it's needed, you may have to take some extra breath in some asanas. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Gradually, see, nobody is perfect, including me. There are some asanas in some of the asanas where the breath is a little fast. I'm not able to breathe long. I know that, but I keep on trying to improve those breaths. That's what I can do, my best. So that is one. And there is Ranajoy for you. But you have improved now. That spreading of the elbow. I think recently you have improved. I mean, maybe a week or so earlier. That pressing down. Tanmay also same problem is there. Now also you have got that problem. So from that plank, when you go down, so from here when you go down, you should not spread the elbow. Elbow will be kept close to the body like this. Do it. Can you do it, Tanmay? Show me this position. Go to the mat and do it. So I want to observe the elbow. Ranajoy has improved that.
Okay.
I think you are consciously doing it now, right, Ranajoy? Am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I remember since you said it. So yeah, that consciousness.
Yeah. Now, Tanmay, you can see your elbow is falling sideways. Keep the elbow close to body. Elbow should be closer. Now, when you lift up, you should not spread it. Lift up now. Still, it's going out. See, your chest has to come front. Elbow will be back. Just lie down. You lie down first. Lie down. Lie down. Keep your hand a little more backward. Keep it hand back. And keep the elbow close to the body. Elbow. 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 Which is elbow? Keep it very close. Correct. Now, when you lift up, your elbow should not go away. Keep the elbow close to the body. Now go down again. See, did I move the elbow sideways? No, elbow is close. Elbow should not go away. Go down without spreading the elbow. Now you see, you spread it. देखो हाथ elbow चला गया. He's not aware what elbow is also, I think. No. See why the elbow is going away. Elbow is here. No, it's not like this. Elbow is here. Now go down without spreading elbow. Elbow should be bending backward. No. See, elbow went away. See, you can observe. Classic example is there in front of you.
Yeah.
How the mind goes away. Tanmay, you keep your hand straight first. No. See, now elbow is gone. So this is the common tendency of when the practitioner starts. You can observe this. Many people do this and they damage their elbow. So now when you go down, your elbow should bend backward. Tell me how to do this, Tanmay. It's not a difficulty. It is only see, gone. Did you observe? Everybody notice this what he's doing now. Classic example. You go down, bending the elbow backward. Show me that. No, that is sideways. No. Your elbow went sideways. Your elbow should bend backwards. Is there somebody at home? Tanmay's mother or father, anybody is there at home? Nobody.
I'll call my mother and come.
Huh?
I'll
Okay,
call my
now,
mother and come.
okay, no problem. Now you show me. I told you, okay, you don't go away, man. You stay there, no? Now you show me. When, see, just observe my elbow. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. See, I'm here, right? When I go down, see the elbow is, see. Did the elbow go away? No. It is with the body. I'll show you what you're doing now. You're doing like this. This is wrong. And you're lifting the leg also like this. There is no need for lifting the leg. So from here, when I go down, I have to keep the elbow close to the body and go down. Show me that. No, see. So why is that it's not coming? It is nothing to do with your body. Nothing to do with the body. It is only something to do with the mind. Show me again. Show me again. Show me how to go down to the mat without spreading the elbows. Go down without spreading the elbow. Bend your elbow backward, 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 back. No, not sideways. Bend it backward and go down on the mat. Go down, no? Go down, bending the elbow. No. See, again gone. So Tanmay, so you have to go to your parents and ask them, teach me this. How to go down, not like this. How to go down like this. So next class when you attend, you have to learn that and come. And show me a video, send me a video how to do it properly. You understood what I told you? Okay, you have to do it and send me a video of that. Shweta, I have not seen you practicing. Divya, Divya, can you come online? Is this Divya Lakshman? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, so I'm also now, wait. Sorry. Just a second. Now, so one observation that I've done is like a smaller this one, like when you keep the hand, sometimes, not always, sometimes your hand comes a little closer than required. So when you go down, it comes a little like this. Little, no, the hand comes below your body. So what you can observe next time is that, and your shoulders are wide, and the width has to come in the hand also. So try to keep it little wider, spreading the fingers. So when you go down, that width will come exactly on the shoulder distance like that. So try to do it this way next time when you do. Okay. So you generally the mats, I think your mat is also quite wide. So keep it a little wider so that you can get that strength. Okay. Yeah. Some rounds I have observed that. Not all rounds. Every time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Himashri, yeah. And another thing that I have to tell is that when you practice, few classes keep the orientation like this. So what will happen that I can, or the teachers can observe your side views. All the side view, no corrections can be done. And few classes turn the mat facing the camera. So your the front view, elbow positions, all that will come into the teacher's eye. So you have to probably one or two rounds, this way, that way, you have to keep changing because it's an online class, right? There are limitations. So the teachers can observe both the views, a front view and a side view. So that will help. For example, when you're doing a Sarvangasana or the shoulder stand. So if there is a side view, it is easier to understand how straight your body is in a shoulder stand. At the same time, when you do Sarvangasana, showing the back towards the screen, that time the teacher can find your elbow supporting the ground. Is it wider than required? Is it proper? This support will come to the teacher's eye. So both the views are important so that the teacher can correct you appropriately. Okay. So a few classes this way, a few classes that way, it can be beneficial. That reminded me because Himasri, generally you practice most of the even Surya Namaskara facing the parallel to the screen. So few classes you can try, towards the screen also.
Okay, sir, I'll do next time.
Yeah, no problem. Just few suggestions. Okay, don't worry. These are all points which I have, when I see the name of the person, I recollect these scenarios. That's why I'm talking.
Thank you, sir.
Some of the corrections may be very minor. Don't worry about
So
it.
what shall I do before Tuesday, next class?
Good, no problem. You send me that recording, okay? So whatever I'm trying to point out, these are not what you call mistakes, okay? Please don't consider these as negative points. In no way. See, as long as you look at it, you will improve. So these are only points where you can little more focus and bring out the best out of you. Please don't consider these as negative points. Never do that. That's not my intention. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Then I will do this one, Ashtanga Surya Namaskara, 2 rounds. Okay, I started from this side, so I will do it facing this side only. Ekam, inhaling both the arms over the head sideways. And look at the thumb. So the head is back. Dvi, exhale, bend forward, making a big circle. Head last. Trini, inhale, head up. So it is, when you inhale head up, it is better not to remove the full hand. This, if you feel this is okay, fine, but generally keep the majority of the hand on the floor when you Trini inhale head up, this one. At least the fingers. It's good to even keep the full palm and head up, but many of you may find it tough. So generally I do with the fingers majority on the mat. So don't remove the full palm like this. So inhale head up is not like this. See, look at my hand. So Ekam is over. Dvi, exhale, come down. Trini, inhale, head up. This is enough. See, my hand is on the floor. I'll show here. Dvi, exhale. Trini, inhale. Where is the hand? Hand is here only. I say head up. So there is no need to lift the entire body up and lift the chest and this one. That happens when your forward bend is not enough. It's okay. So I'm not saying that you should be perfect. So as long as you have reached here, head is down. Now, Trini, inhale, head up, without changing much on the depth of the bend. Do you observe? Wherever you reached with that forward fold, from there, inhale, head up, uncoil the spine. Got me right? I hope. Then, so if you could reach the entire palm on the floor, nothing like that. So I reach here, Dvi, inhale, head up. See that concave back, keeping the palm on the ground. Chatwari, step back, exhale and go down. Resisting the weight. Pancha, inhale, lift the upper body. Push and rise. Shut, exhale. 5 breaths. One. Two. Long back. 3. Filling up. 4. Full breath. 5. Sapta. Step front, both the legs, inhale, head up. See, it's a concave back, keeping the hand on the floor. Wherever you can keep it proper. Ashta, exhale, chin to shin. Or head on the knee. Nava, inhale, stand up, hands up, sideways. Reach it high and look there. Exhale to Samasthiti. So just to recap, what are the important points here? Just showing you the front views. I'm just explaining the important points. Samasthiti, see, toes and heels touching, no gap, not like this. Tuck karge. Join it tight. Hands should be tight. No gap. See any gap anywhere you see? Except the physical. So I cannot join here. That is my physical problem. Okay. Now, Ekam, inhaling, arms over the head. See, take the arms long and look at the thumb. So your palm should be joined here, like that. It should not be like this. Don't interlock fingers. These are all no. Don't interlock fingers like this when your arm goes up. This is wrong. This is right. All the fingers should be together, not like this. They are together. Everything. See, this is called the Hasta Uttanasana. Ekam. And I put the head back and look at the thumb. Not like this. I put it back and look at the thumb. Observe the head position. And I'm trying to linearly extend. I'm trying to lengthen the body to the sky. It's as if somebody is pulling you from the top, pulling the body upwards. In Ashtanga Surya Namaskara, there is no bending back. It's a linear stretch upwards. Okay, that's the Ekam. Then in Dvi, when I bend forward, I have to bring the arms sideways. See how I dive like a bird. These are the wings of the bird, right? From here. So that all this is reached. Finally, the head reaches. Pressing the down. That is Dvi. Trini, inhale, head up. Where is the hand up? So don't do this head up. It is not required. I have explained you. Keeping wherever your hand could reach. Imagine I could reach here only, here only. From here, inhale, head up. If I can reach here, inhale, head up. That's all enough. I don't have to do this. Okay. Then Chatwari, step back, exhale and go down. Step back, both the legs. High plank. Exhale, go down. When you go down, your elbow, the chest will go front of the wrist. Chest is in front. Even if you do that Ashtanga Namaskara this way, keep the chest in front, elbow above the wrist. Pancha, sleep the toe. Sleeping the toe, the legs will go away little. Inhale, lift your upper body. See, everything is floating. See, the knees are in the air. Knees are not resting on the mat. It's up, lifted up, full floating. Exhale. Then those 5 breaths. So those 5 breaths is to be slow inhalation, slow exhalation. And regulating breath at the throat. So I hope many of you, especially children, you'll find it a little tough. So if you consciously, I know children who are able to slowly deep, full inhalation, full exhalation. So it's not what that, nobody can do that. A lot of children do nice breathing. You, for example, Anshuman in children class, you observe how he breathes. See, for his age, he has learned that kind of breathing. There are many children who breathe very, very well, far better than the adults. It's all the mind, how you program it. Good breaths you will get. So, any doubts?
So
Yeah, any doubts?
in the last step where we jump or we can walk, right? During jumping, you are every time correcting me, but during the class and I'm not able to understand what they are correcting me. You're saying that I'm bending or
Then is it the hand correction I'm giving, or is it the knee correction? What is it?
the hand correction mainly. and my knee also bends. So hope that is okay.
So I'll just quickly show you those few jumps. Okay, I'm not showing the floating jumps. I'm showing you the this one. So first one is that from here, I think.
Yeah, from the mountain pose.
Yeah. So okay, jumping forward. Yeah. So from mountain, so I'm here. Now, when you jump forward, do not spread the knees. Like I'll show you. No, like so when you jump forward, don't spread the knees like this. Even some. So I think when you're jumping like this. Somewhere the knees are going away. So some of the views I have seen, but I have not seen your front view. So what you must do is jump forward, keeping the knees together. So the knee should be together when you land.
Got it. Okay.
So knee should not spread when you hop forward. See the knee.
Got it.
Okay, so this is one point that you must note. And the palm should not go away. So don't come to fingers when you jump. So when you land, your palm should be fully on the ground. See, the palm is fully on the ground. Don't come like this. That fingering should not come. Showing once again. So I think sometimes you do like this. This finger comes off. The palm is coming off the ground. So
Correct.
try to keep full palm and land with the knees together. This way.
Sure, sir. Okay.
I think this is what I have noticed when you are hopping. Those are the two things. One is don't spread the knee. Other is full palm on the ground.
Sir, are we do we need to align our palm and the feet while landing? Because most of the time I end up coming a little down than where my palm is actually.
That is correct. That is no problem. There will, when you land, there will be an offset between the hand position and the leg position. That is normal.
It need not be the same line, no, sir? It
will not.
Okay,
be.
okay.
There can be an offset. Don't worry about that. The one
Okay.
that you should note is that try to land with the knees touching each other. Don't spread it and don't come on fingers. Keep the full palm when you land. I think there are few people do hopping here like Himasri and all. So I have not seen your front views, Himasri. So when you next time face myself, I can notice those knee positions of landing. So why I mentioned this is these are the areas when the knee will get damaged. Like if you jump like this, keeping the feet apart or knees away, it'll see initially nothing will happen. But if you keep on doing that, finally the knee will get damaged. So knees have to take the shock like this way. So that's why when you land, this way, never spread it. Land like a soft. There will be a little jerk will be there, but minimum. Like that. So when you bend forward that time, that alignment will be corrected. Okay. Any other clarifications on Ashtanga A? Okay, so Tanmay, many times I have told you, don't use the chats. Have I told you? I told you, no? Why are you using the chats? Huh? Why are you using the chats? I told you, don't use the chats. So you go back on the mat, go back. Go back on the mat. You're not supposed to come to computer. You just be on the mat and practice. Don't come to computer or your laptop, this one, mobile phone. Okay, see, when you have to talk something, that time, only at that time, that is during logical breaks. You cannot always come and then computer, then do chat, okay, go back, come back. That you should not do this. It's all restlessness. Learn the things, proper things you have to learn. So,
Sir, I have a question.
yeah.
So in one of the loosening practice, like in Chakki Chalna, when we go from one leg to other leg, I mean, we have to continue exhaling, right? I mean, I do it, I just continue exhale, and then when I come up, I inhale, and then I again exhale till the other leg. I mean, normally you give the instruction like inhale from one leg to other leg. Something, I mean,
No. So I'll clarify that. So I'm here, right?
yeah.
So I start here. I have to inhale first. I took an inhalation. While exhaling, I start the movement. Till here it's exhalation. Then here, from here it's inhalation. Inhale is over.
Okay.
Inhale is over. Again, I start exhaling the other way. Till here exhale, then inhale.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, see, good question. See, thing is, you had at least the intelligence to correct it. So that's what is more important than the actual practice. So many people may be doing this. Right. See, it has to synchronize with those. The beauty of that is that, since you point, the beauty of that is that minimum error. Because you are actually monitoring the breath while doing that. First one is that. Second is that we will not go too fast. Because we have to exhale, then inhale, then exhale, then inhale. Then after that, again, like exhale, inhale, exhale. So that rhythm of the breathing will ensure that we don't go faster than required. Yes, there will be a variance of say 10-20%, it's fine. But that the discipline of breathing will ensure that we go at the right pace. Third one is that, see, when the body generally, when it bends or flexes to some place, the lung also shrinks, right? So when I go down, it's a squeeze. When you come up, it opens up. So the action of the lung has to match with the action of the body. So when I go down, I exhale, I shrink the lungs. Then when I come up, I inhale and reach here. Similarly, when I exhale, I go down, inhale and come up. So what you can do, the general rule is that whenever you go closer to the ground, generally I'm saying, there are exceptions, it's an exhalation. Whenever I come away from the ground, generally it's an inhalation. For example, when I raise the arm, it's an expansion, the lungs are expanding. So the inhalation happens. When I come down, the shoulders are coming down, the ribs are closing. So it's an exhalation. So that physical action, it synchronizes with the breath. So there will not be any harm caused in the respiratory system. So these are all the benefits of focusing on the right kind of breath.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Himashri, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks for pointing it out. I hope it is, it's good information even to all the others who are there in the class. Yeah. What's the time? Yeah. Anything else on whatever we spoke till now?
So you refer to take reference from breathing. With what is that you are referring to in the sense?
Yeah. See, what I'm referring to is that see, connect everything to that breath. So, for example, see, we have to take reference of for example, you have a measuring scale. So somebody asked me, what is your height? So what do? I go to the scale, that long this thing, measuring scale. So that's a standard scale. No? So I compare my length with that scale, right? So what is the reference point? That scale is the reference point. Or if you check my weight, what is the reference point? That meter, that weighing scale. That scale is the reference for me. Compared to that calibration, I measure my weight. So everything is measured with that scale. So that is a standard. So when you practice, what doesn't change is the breath. Is that length of the breath, that inhalation, deep exhalation, whatever comes, that should not change. And that is the calibrated in our practice. From there we take the reference. For example, when I do Trikonasana, I'm just showing you Trikonasana, which is standing asana. Now I exhale is over. Now I have to inhale. So my first thought is that. My first thought is not the other things. So I have to inhale slowly, deeply, and completely. That's my first priority. So even if all the other things are completed, I will wait till my inhale is completed. So that LSD, light, slow, deep breathing, has to complete. So there is no compromise on that. Whatever comes, even if my step is over, my catching the waist is over, I will wait till that breath is completed. So now I exhale and turn. So what is happening? My focus is on taking that slow, deep breath. My focus, even if my body is turning is completed, legs is completed, my drishti may be completed, I don't know. But everything will wait till that calibration is over. All the other people will wait till my breath is completed. So what am I doing now? I am taking the reference of breathing. My breath is the reference point. Unless I breathe completely, deeply, and slowly, I will not take the next step. So this is what I mean by taking reference from the breathing. Everything else is connected to that. That breathing. So that's what I call it, the meaning of what I say. So now I'm just going to show that. I'll do everything till that breath is completed. I'll not go further. Then I will spread my movement, my hand movement, my turning the neck, turning the foot. Everything will go only with that breathing. Till the breath is completed, I will not do anything else. Trini, that is exhalation. Trini, inhale, open the arm. Did you observe the hand movement was lengthened for that deep breath? I could have done like this. See, the movement is over before the breath is completed. So there is no synchronization. I did not take the reference of breath. Since the breath is long and full, I spread and distributed my movement till that breath is going to last. Now I feel more complete, aligned, and powerful. Then I know it's a slow exhalation. See, I delayed my movement till that breath last and took its reference. Slow inhalation. First breath. Second breath, what should I do? I should check the knee alignment. See, I adjusted a little. Second exhalation. I aligned my shoulder. Third inhale, what do I say? Lock the anus. Last exhale, maximize the bend and look down. Then, so 3 breaths are over. Now, pancha inhale, come up. Full inhale is over. Shat exhale. Sapta inhale. Ashta exhale. Till the breath is over, I wait. So if you notice, all the things that I did was all connected with that element, which is the breathing. So I hope whatever I could explain was clear to you. Divya, are you there?
Yes, sir. Now, yes, sir. I'm able to understand it.
Yeah. So what I mean by those full actions was that everywhere, the first breath, what should I do? Second breath, third breath. So when we do things like this, days passing by, years passing by, all of you will get to that mode. How to connect everything to good breaths. So this is my idea. So like now, when I say, there are some classes, second inhalation, third inhalation, these are all new terminology to them. They don't know how many breaths they take in asana itself. So for you and all, you are all familiar with these things because you have been continuously practicing. Okay. And some people, they come to the class, they don't know what is the first inhalation, what is second inhalation, because the way the practicing is different. So the awareness comes with proper counted breaths. If you connect, in Trikonasana, how did I plan? You remember the instructions, all the instructions, generally I try to make it a little standard. The first inhale, I am supposed to turn my neck and look at the hand. On the first exhale, I am supposed to increase the depth. The second inhalation, check the straightness of the knees in Trikonasana. The second exhalation, check the alignment of both the arms. Third inhale, check for Mula Bandha, locking the anus. On the last exhale, try to increase the depth, and on the tail of that exhalation, look down. So these, even those things are programmed in my mind. Similarly, that program has to come in your mind. That is the idea of numbering the breaths. And even if you have at individual practice, these words have to resonate in your mind, and then the practice will become perfect. Okay, that's the idea of taking reference of breathing. Thank you.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. Thanks for.
Thank you.
It is an important question that you asked, because many of the people they will get enlightened with this whatever question you're asking. Because I will also be forced to think, because I was not prepared with an answer, but when I started doing it, all those answers came to my mind, and I tried to connect with your question.
So my thought was, if there is a particular audio or something where you say, okay, inhale and exhale, if you have something like that, which we could use so that we could ensure that our breathing is matching with whatever the timing you are giving. That is why I thought if there is any such thing, then wanted to check that one. That is why, sir.
Okay, I'll try to make something like that.
If it is possible, then it helps us to ensure that we are in line with whatever the timing you tell us, so that we know that, okay, our breathing is appropriate. That was the idea, sir.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
So especially beginners, even when Shweta, are you there, Shweta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. So keep these things in mind, okay? How much importance like you have, you're hearing some students, so that much relevance is there.
Okay.
You can understand how important is there for good breaths. So keep these things in mind when you start practicing.
Okay.
Focus on nice process, nice steps, elegant practices, and proper breaths. These are all important, to practice proper yogasanas. Okay.
Okay.
So now I will talk a little about, since we have explained most of the asanas and your Surya Namaskar, Chandra Namaskar, little about pranayama. As I said, some of the important things in pranayama is that the physical action of asanas are essential for proper breathing. It is not that if we do just pranayama, it will help us. The need of, while doing pranayama, the expansion of the chest, the straightness of the back, opening of the ribs, okay, and shoulders. All these are essential to take proper breaths. So in Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama comes. Yama is the what you must not do, the rules. Niyama is what you should do, like like things like cleanliness, discipline. All these lot of qualities come in Yama Niyama. So that these are the first two limbs. Third limb is the asana practice, and then the fourth limb comes. And in that order we are supposed to travel. You cannot do like pranayama first, then learn asanas. It's not possible. In Ashtanga Yoga, it's a step-by-step process. It is like creating foundation. Then we make the walls. Then we make the roof. Okay, roof maybe you can call meditation or anything like that. So without proper foundation, how is it possible to make a roof? Not possible. First, the foundation, like no proper discipline, no proper food habits. All these are required. Without that, we cannot practice art. Then you do the asanas. Compare it with, say, proper walls. Without proper asana, doing bare minimum asanas, the lung capacity will not come to do proper pranayama. Similarly, a person who does not do proper pranayama or good breathing, his practice of asanas will not be good. It's all interlinked. Good asana practice is required to do proper pranayama. Proper pranayama is required for good asanas. Both are interlinked. Okay. So that is first thing. Second point is when you practice pranayama, always there has to be one opening pranayama. For example, what we do that Kapalabhati. What is it called? Stomach breathing or skull shine breathing. So I think Nalini has to improve on that. See how you breathe. Like just observe. Initially, it is easier to keep one hand. So did you observe? I'm not moving my chest much. The action is more on the abdomen only. Each exhalation, the stomach has to go in. So I want you to do it. Can you come online? Is it possible to do it now? Yeah. And Nalini, yeah, can you keep your hands in Dhyana Mudra like this? Okay. Yeah. Now take an inhalation first. Now when you exhale, pull the stomach in. Okay. Continue. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, yeah. I think you did not inhale in between. Did you inhale in between? So you
That's what I find difficult. I find difficult to inhale in between.
So try to take between each exhalations, try to take one in breath. So just observe, okay? Just observe what I'm doing. I hope you can hear the sound also, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So after each suction, I'm taking a short in breath. Try again.
I have to practice. I have to practice.
Yeah, in the beginning it was correct. So don't worry. When you started in the beginning, it was correct. Don't worry. Okay. Towards the end, slowly you lost the track. Nothing. These are all common things. Okay. Don't worry. Don't be too conscious. Just be aware that in between each exhalation, just relax. Okay. Each exhalation, I have to take an inhalation. That's all.
Yeah.
You can go slow. Don't worry. Like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Can you try once more? Even if it goes wrong, don't worry about it. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay, relax, relax. Are you using the throat too much? You should not use the throat.
So you know, I have a problem with, you know, when I started, I always used to do it in my mouth. So I'm really trying to use my nose. Can you explain why is it bad to breathe through your mouth?
Yeah, so here the mouth should be closed, okay, and the sound of breath will come only from the nose in when you do this stomach breathing, okay. Yeah, so you don't have to make any sound from the throat while you're doing this this pranayama.
So one of my nostrils is blocked.
Okay.
This is deviated septum. So that's why I always breathe through my mouth. And I try really hard now in class to breathe through my nose. And then obviously when we do the throat breathing. But yeah, I just have to practice. I know I have to practice.
It's okay, don't worry. So just keep on doing that. So that awareness itself is important. That is, it's enough. So day by day passing by, you will become more conscious on how to reduce the the breathing through the mouth or those throat sounds. Yes, when you're practicing asanas, lot of good things in your is that you're following the process. Okay, that it's very good because you are following the steps and the process. You're doing it very well. Only the last thing that you have to improve is the breathing. The how you when you inhale, when you exhale. I think it's what do you call it? It's a slow process. Gradually you'll get there. Just don't worry about it. Consciously try to reduce or minimize the breaths through the mouth. Okay, and slow down your breath, slow breathing. You have to practice. And as I said, earlier this was more worse. When you started this Kapalabhati, that time that synchronization between the stomach movement and the breath was off beat. But now at least that synchronization has come. When you're exhaling, your stomach is going in. The only thing that you have to improve is reduce the sound from your throat, make it more with the nostril sound when you're doing that, and simplify and close the eyes. Whenever you do pranayama, just close the eyes. So don't get distracted. It's okay. Just that's it. Just slow down your mind. Things will automatically fall in line. So when you are alone, when you're not in the class, just practice it in silence. When you sit without anybody around yourself, just practice it alone. Things will come back. Don't worry. It will come in line. Okay. And whenever you're in doubt, just watch this video also. You'll get how it's a very simple practice. Very, very simple. Okay. This message is not only for Nalini. A lot of people, so especially like Ishani, Ranajoy, I want all of you to watch these messages and improve the Kapalabhati we are doing. Okay, so there will be minor deviations will be there. So just observe them and try to correct all those deviations. Okay. Then the Om, that when we chant the Om, so it's a blend of three things: A, U, Ma. So when you say so that natural death has to come. So starts with A, then U and M. So that three sounds, syllables A, U and Ma. All these three come without touching the tongue on the upper palates. Like A, U, M. Everything is done with the tongue on the ground, on the bottom. So that's the why these sounds come in Om is without using the tongue. These three sounds are done without using the tongue. Okay. And between each Omkara, try to take proper inhalation using the expansion of the lungs. You'll automatically calm. So you can see how that sound calms the mind. So just stay within yourself. and do whatever you can do. That's fine. Okay, take a good inhalation and do that Omkara 7 times. So all these will help in calming the mind. Okay, I hope I've covered whatever I could tell today. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to wind up. 5:45 class will start now.
So must be next time if you can help me to show in Sarvangasana, when you return, you say that both feet together, you have to come back after completing Sarvangasana. Not today, next class, I might want to check that out with you, sir. How to do that.
Surely, I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you all of you. I don't have time to, closing prayer. So how do we do Namaskar Mudra? Inhaling, take the arms over the head, join at the top, gracefully bring it down to the center of the heart. Okay. And, closing prayer, we'll do that. Inhale. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham shantirbhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently bow down to the God. Thank God for whatever you could do today. And come back.
Bye, sir. Namaste, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you Monday.
Bye, Nalini, for joining. Thank you, all of you.
Bye.